If you're looking to build that God Squad to get the leg up on your competition, check out my new sponsor MutCoins Express on Twitter to get the fastest and cheapest MUT coins available. Use code WIZARD to get 10% off your order. What is going on, guys? Wizard Vlogs here with another Madden 21 video. So today, we've got some news to go over. I'm a little disappointed because I thought it was going to be more news, and it unfortunately wasn't. And it's now 10:20 at night, and I'm pretty damn sure that EA is not going to put anything more out at this time of night. So we do have more news coming tomorrow. I believe at 7. Let's check and see here. Yeah, at 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, they're going to be doing a live stream on some of the beta feedback from Madden 21. So hopefully we'll be getting some new news and stuff about Madden 21 at that point. That'll be good. But in the meantime, we're just going to be looking at some of the offensive X factors. Specifically, these are just quarterback ones. So we're not really even getting abilities or anything like that. So everything that we've gotten up to this point about abilities and X factors has just been leaked. We're going to see how accurate all that is. More than likely, it's all pretty accurate, but EA can, of course, change all of this up until the day of the game release, and they can actually even change it after that if they want to patch things. But at least I guess it's confirming it's something to talk about, it's something to do. But anyway, let's take a look at the couple of X factors that we got shown here today. Again, it's just kind of confirming, and it's showing a little more in depth some of the details about it, so I think it's kind of interesting to go over. First one here is going to be, we'll take a look at Aaron Rodgers here with Gambler. Again, a lot of these are stuff that we've had in the past, nothing too crazy. The card out here is actually really dope, and I like it a lot. It looks like kind of like a MUT Hero sort of thing with the green eyes and like the animated and all that, but you know, nothing really too crazy. I don't care as much about their breakdowns. This might be kind of what they have on the loading screens, like what they had in Madden 20. So the first one here we're going to talk about is Gambler takes calculated risks. So Gambler we did have in Madden 20, but it looks like they made a little bit of a change. So to get into, once you get into the zone here, it says you have faster passes that can't be picked off by AI defenders. Now last year it was that you couldn't be picked off by AI defenders, but I'm fairly certain that it had nothing to do with the speed. That almost sounds like you have a gunslinger tied into this X factor, which is kind of cool. The only issue I would see with that is that, you know, if you have a normal throwing speed with your quarterback and then all of a sudden you get the X factor and it completely changes his throwing speed, yeah, it's faster, that's nicer, but is that going to, you know, reduce the arc on it? Is that going to be hard to adjust to in game rather than when you throw an ability on them that is active on them all the time, and then you're more used to it, you can use it a little more to their advantage. I don't know, it just kind of seems like it's cool. I like the idea of it. We'll see how it actually is in practice, and not a whole lot of people used Gambler in Madden 20 anyway because, you know, AI don't pick off the ball a lot anyway. Most of the time it's user picked off anyway. But to trigger it, you need to get 3 consecutive completions of 5+ yards. I'm pretty sure that's what it was last year for Madden 20. And then the knockout is 2 incompletions. So the one thing that I wanted to note for a lot of these, and it's Frazzy, a guy that I talk with a lot on Twitter, Discord, YouTube. He has a YouTube and a Twitch. I'll link those down below. He mentioned that these requirements might actually be not what they are in MUT. So like when you're playing on different difficulties, the requirements are different depending on what you're playing on. We'll look at some of these. It'll take like 2 sacks to knock them out of it. That might be, maybe they're changing that. Maybe they're trying to make X factors a little bit better because they kind of sucked and were useless in Madden 20. But they're easier to get, it looks like, and they're harder to knock them out of. So if that's the route they're going for on MUT, it's going to be a lot easier to get them, and X factors are going to be much more important rather than just like 2 or 3 plays a game that you get the thing. So we'll kind of see if they go that route. It would be nice to have X factors be an actual big game-changing thing, because right now abilities are the things that matter. X factors are just kind of, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But that's the one we have here on Aaron Rodgers, and then Drew Brees and Tom Brady actually have the same ones. Let's go ahead and go to Drew Brees. Then we got his card. I don't really care. Surgeon at quarterback. So the Pro Reads X factor, the description is that it keeps the chains moving. So when you're in the zone, it highlights the first open target and it ignores pressure. I don't think there was an X factor last year in Madden 20, and I can't remember what it was because I didn't use this one. It highlights the first open receiver. This is kind of one that I didn't like it because it wasn't always correct. Yeah, the guy was open, but you might have a user right there. If you're playing computers, that's different. So for those of you who just like to do solo battles and things like that, or all the challenges, then yeah, this might be a good one for you. But anyone that does head-to-head, I don't like anything like this. It's like relying on the player to react the same way that a CPU does. So anyway, just because they're open doesn't mean they're actually open, if you know what I mean. But anyway, whatever the ability or X factor was last year, highlights the first open target and ignores pressure. I'm pretty sure them ignoring pressure wasn't one of the factors in this X factor. I could be wrong about that, but I'm fairly certain it wasn't. And then to trigger it again, you need 3 consecutive completions of 5+ yards. Knockout is 1 sack. That's pretty standard. A lot of times last year, if you got sacked 1 time, you lost that X factor. That's kind of seems how it's going this year with some of these. Again, there's a few more we'll take a look at here though, and it does seem like it's making them a little bit easier to stay in the zone with these. But Pro Reads, I mean, this would be really more one I would say for solo battles or if you like the challenges, I don't know if I would recommend this one for head-to-head. Again, because it's easy for a user, if you know that your guy has that X factor and they're like, okay, they're going to see the open guy. If you leave, like say a running back coming out of the backfield, leave him open. But then if you've got a fast user middle linebacker, you can go and snag that really quick. If they're not really reading defenses and they're just looking for that highlighted guy, you as a defender can know that and take advantage. So also, I wouldn't use this on offense if you're playing real people, but if you're on defense and you notice your opponent using this and they get the X factor rolling, consider taking advantage of that, because they probably don't know how to read defenses very well. I shouldn't say probably, I should say maybe, you know, whatever. Y'all know what I mean. All right, let's go ahead and go take a look at Lamar Jackson here. The only one that matters. That's a pretty beast card art. I'm not even going to lie with you guys. Like, I actually hope... The card art sucks in Madden 21 from what we've seen. I'm really hoping they're seeing our complaints. It's Dom put out a hashtag of fix Madden 21 card art. Hopefully they see that like what they with the franchise, and just, I'm fine with if some of them kind of look like crap. I realize they can't overhaul all of them right now, but just throughout the year, come on, like they look really bad. They look stupid. If y'all haven't seen, hold on, let's go take a look at them here on Twitter while we got it up. Like this is a grainy fast picture, but it's just an ugly card. It's not like, this looks like something that should pull back behind, like it should just be like, you can pull this up and see some stats or something on the side, but it shouldn't be the whole card. I'm really hoping this isn't like a final product. Maybe this is just something they're using for marketing. This is a terrible picture regardless, but it doesn't really matter. Go retweet Dom's tweet here with the tweet fix Madden card art. Maybe EA will see it. The more y'all retweet, the better, so definitely go and do that right now. But anyway, getting back to what I was talking about before, Lamar Jackson here, dynamic speed. Obviously Lamar Jackson, best quarterback to ever play the game. Kidding, Ravens fan, I'm just messing around with y'all. Very good quarterback, but whatever. Okay, so the X factor that he has is Truz. Now I had a conversation with someone on this on Twitter earlier. Now it was originally Truss with 2 S's, right? That's what he always said. Apparently there was some issue where Lamar Jackson said he was worried about getting sued. Someone was threatening to sue him over that. I don't know if it's being used anywhere else, but he ended up changing it to Truz with 2 Z's, just so you know. If any of y'all are complaining about it being Truz over Truss, there's a reason for that. Apparently it's a legal reason. I don't know any more than that, but whatever. So possession over all else. This kind of looks like the ability that Devin Hester, the NFL 100, had last year, where he just couldn't fumble the ball. It was pretty broken because you just knew he was never going to fumble the ball. And similar to that one, to knock the person out of this one, it's 1 tackle for loss. Devin Hester was never really going to get tackled for a loss, so he just never really lost his X factor unless they did something stupid, and it was really good. But Truz, so possession overall plus, I'm getting off track here. Can't fumble when you're in the zone. That's huge, guys. All right, so the trigger for this is 5 1+ yard runs. Knockout is 1 tackle for loss. So this is kind of specifically what I'm talking about. The requirements to get into the zone might be harder than what we're seeing here. We will see when Madden Ultimate Team actually comes out. Now I'm talking about in Madden Ultimate Team, where the difficulties are set at all Madden, all pro, whatever they are. We'll see. Maybe it was like 7 or 8, I think, in the beta, so we'll see what happens. 5 1+ yard runs is a little bit, but that's not a ton. So I mean, you can just scramble a couple times, do design runs or whatever. 5 1+ yard runs is not really bad, and then as long as you just don't get tackled for loss, you're going to be okay. I would imagine that would include sacks or anything behind the line of scrimmage, so we'll see how that goes there. But honestly, this is probably going to be a pretty broken ability from the way I'm looking at it right now. We'll see if EA fine-tunes it or anything like that, but my issue with this is, and I like Lamar Jackson, so I'll be using him. I'm going to pre-order the MVP, which I recommend you do so also if you're a Madden Ultimate Team kind of guy. Definitely going to be worth it. It's $100. You get a ton of crap. Regardless, I'm getting off topic again. But one of the biggest ways that they have nerfed quarterbacks is that they fumble really easily, right? Like, obviously, they don't fumble as much in real life as they do in Madden, particularly if you're scrambling. If you get touched a lot of times, you just fumble the ball. It's ridiculous. Like, barely even tackled. You can trip, fumble the ball. That's just one of the ways that EA or Madden is more. It's obviously a video game. They have to nerf those running quarterbacks a little more than they're actually, you know, like in real life. So I don't know. It's just something they have to do. If you take away that tendency for scrambling quarterbacks to fumble more often, I don't know what kind of weakness Lamar Jackson has, or any scrambling quarterback, because I imagine Truz is going to be something that any good Michael Vick, good luck with that, y'all. That sounds like a headache and a half. I don't want to deal with that crap. I know y'all don't want to either, but I'm going to be using it if it's as overpowered as it sounds. All right, we got 2 more to look at here. Patrick Mahomes. This one is pretty much the same as last year. Patrick Mahomes, obviously one of the best players in the league right now, best quarterback. Yes, better than Lamar Jackson. Even as a Ravens fan, I can say that. So Bazooka, this looks very similar to the one they had last year for Bazooka. Generational arm strength. When you're in the zone, your max throwing distance is increased by 15 yards for 80 yards total. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's honestly ridiculous. those 80 yards, you can be whatever. It's insane. So the trigger for this is to complete one completed pass of 30+ yards in the air. This is another instance of, is this going to be in Madden Ultimate Team? All that it takes is I mean, that's just one big pass. 30-yard pass. It has to be in the air, of course, not just like a screen that they run for 30 yards. It has to be in the air, but that seems pretty overpowered to me, y'all, because all it takes is one big pass. They get the X factor, then they can throw it 1,000 friggin' yards. I don't know, another good one, and then knockout of it is just one sack. So yeah, that can happen at any time in the game, of course, but just play it smart, do max protect, you'll be okay. I mean, get Tyreek Hill streaking down the outside beginning of the year. No one's going to be able to cover that. I kind of hope this is 2 completed passes of 30+ yards in the air. I think that's what it was last year. It was around that. If they do that, I think that balances it a little bit more and makes Bazooka not that crazy. Still a very good ability, though, because if you can throw it that far and you have someone that's really fast and you get protected, a lot of ifs thrown in there, a lot of ifs. But if you get all those things, a lot of protection, fast wide receiver, and you have the X factor, just chuck it up there, guys. They're going to go get it. All right, last one we're going to talk about. We already talked about Tom Brady, GOAT, blah, blah, blah. We all know that. We're going to talk about Russell Wilson here. Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks, top 3. It's Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, all 3 different types of quarterbacks. So it kind of just, which one is the best? I'd put Mahomes, and then I would put Russ Wilson and Lamar Jackson at 2A, 2B. Depends on your offensive scheme. The Ravens work the best for Lamar Jackson. I don't think other teams would do as well with Lamar Jackson just because he's so good, but the Ravens built their offense around him because they knew what they were doing. And, well, I'm getting off track again, guys. Damn it. So this is another one I wouldn't really recommend because I think it's going to hinder your development as a Madden 21 player. Defensive recognition, it highlights extra blitzers. So when you've got linebackers and DBs coming down, obviously you have the D-line that's going to be pretty much always coming. Sometimes they drop into coverage, but typically they're coming. It's going to highlight any linebackers and DBs that are coming down. So obviously sometimes linebackers and DBs will come down and look like they're blitzing and they're not actually. But it'll show them. It'll show the people that are actually coming. It'll even dynamically update it. So like if they're coming and then the player calls them off and then changes it around, then it'll update and all that. I just don't really know if this is a good one. Let me talk about, okay, so you trigger it with 3 scrambles to 10+ yards. That's kind of difficult to do, honestly, but then you get 2 sacks to knock it out. So even though you get to see the extra blitzers, you do get an extra sack. You get 2 sacks before it knocks you out. Again, we'll see if that's actually in Madden Ultimate Team or if that's just in a lower difficulty setting. We'll see all that once the game actually comes out, unless they give us more details going forward. But like I was saying, I don't know if this is a great one for your development as a player anyway, because I think it's important to be able to see those potential extra blitzers, know that they may not actually be coming. Just because they're creeping up on the line doesn't mean they're actually coming. So I think it's important for you to learn that, know that, and then use another ability, use another X factor to take advantage of. This is an okay one that maybe at the beginning when you're still figuring it out could be good, but you're not going to be able to rely on this all the time. It's not an ability. You only have it when you're in the zone with your X factor. So I think you're going to be more benefited using another X factor, again, like Bazooka, that's just like something that kind of breaks the game in that time that you can use. Something like that, or something like Truz that's really just going to, help you break open the game. I wouldn't use one like this, or like I said, the Pro Reads or whatever the other one was. Stuff like that that's more of a handicap. You're not going to have it all game. You can't rely on it all game, so why would you use it? This is my opinion. That's kind of how I feel about it. But damn, y'all, this card art's fire. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. Why can't EA make this all the card art? Why? Just go retweet that tweet. That's going to be it for the X Factors that we have for now. By the time this video comes out, we might already have more, so I'll make an updated video on some more X Factors that are coming out. Sorry, it's a little bit delayed. Y'all know I work all day, and then I record these late at night, so I can't get them out the same day and all that stuff, but hopefully you still find some value in it. You find some value in my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below, if y'all think any of these are going to be broken, or if you think there's any other X Factors that are going to be potentially broken. Just let me know. As always, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you enjoyed it. We have a lot of info that's going to be coming out for 21, so you're not going to want to miss any of that stuff, so make sure you tune in for all those videos. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.